Hi folks, and welcome to another edition of Sounding Board. Today we're going to talk about Legacy, Marvel's new imprint. It has finally been released. We're kind of a little late talking about it because other videos for our other sites took over precedence, and now we get a chance to talk about it. Now that we get to talk about Legacy, we got to wonder, is this a big mistake by Marvel again, or is this going to be something that Marvel's going to use to reboot and clean up their backyard? Because after all, after the great fiasco with Captain America, what I mean by fiasco is the fact that we spent the whole year reading about Captain America being the villain of the Marvel Universe. And the final result is the Falcon wishes, with the Cosmic Cube, a good version of Captain America. Come on. I predicted that cleanup a long time ago. It was going to be a clone or wishing away. This time it was both. And so now, in the aftermath of Secret Empire, we now go on and move into a new series of Marvel's called Legacy. This new imprint Marvel has is supposed to give us a whole new universe, a whole new perspective on what was good and great about the Marvel Universe. But will it fulfill our need to be like DC's Rebirth? But before we go any further, let me stress now, this is going to have a lot of spoilers in it. Like, we discover that now in the Marvel Universe, there was Avengers at the dawn of time. Avengers, yes, it's kind of funny. And also, now at the dawn of time, Starbrand, who originally originated in the new universe, is now part of the Parthenon that made the original Avengers. So basically this group is made up of Marvel's powerhouses, or people that are behind the scenes of other heroes' powers, or people they just want to push. But let's go back to a minute before we go any further in Legacy and talk about another thing called Heroes Reborn. In the 90s, Marvel had this grand idea of rebooting all their core characters to make them fresh for a new audience. With creators like Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld in charge of the series, they hoped to capture in what made Image Comics good, but make it part of the Marvel Universe. And so in the Reborn universe, it's basically a pocket universe created by Franklin Richards, son of Reed Richards, who at the time was the strongest mutant in all of the Marvel Universe. And so he created this pocket universe to hide away all the heroes from Onslaught. But after a while, sales were great. But like I said, after a while, sales started to lull. So all the characters returned to the Marvel Universe with a fresh look and a fresh feel to them, except for Spider-Man, who, on a side note, got rebooted, but not in Heroes Reborn. So all you wondering why I'm talking about Heroes Reborn? Because it was Marvel's attempt at giving us a fresh new ideas or spin on their characters. But let's talk about Legacy now. Marvel's new imprint after the miniseries of like Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, and a plethora of other series where they promised us a whole new universe. Sorry about sounding a little jaded or concerned or even like apprehensive about what Marvel's doing, since Marvel has given us so many of these different reboots that the magic of it is gone. I don't know why Marvel keeps rebooting their series, hoping it'll interject new sales into a old company. Now they're using Legacy as their selling point. And Legacy's selling point is selling us the legacy of the Marvel Universe. What made Marvel good? What made Marvel fun? And what made us Marvel zombies in the 70s, 80s? And what happened to them? They disappeared. And Marvel wants to know why. Maybe the why is Marvel always went for the cheap pops over staying true to their guns, leaving characters dead that should stay dead. Instead, with Legacy's first issue, we get a plethora of characters that were dead or forgotten that need to return to the Marvel Universe to create the legacy that once stood and made the House of Marvel great. And this is where Heroes Reborn was brought up, because Heroes Reborn was done by Franklin Richards. This new series, at the final panel, you have both of Reed's kids at the cusp of space looking at the galaxy going, we now need to see what's going on with this planet. Now, it's easy to rip into the Marvel Universe because they've made a lot of bad mistakes. I dropped my $6.99 down and bought the issue of with the Terry Dodson art on it of Mary Jane. I read it, I enjoyed it, but I could see a future that won't be fulfilled by Marvel by giving us characters back that were dead that people love. It was great to find out, like, let's say Wolverine's back, and maybe there's a future for the Fantastic Four, because I'm one of the few people that really loved the Fantastic Four and enjoyed their series runs. They had a lot of bad runs in it, but overall, I tend to enjoy the Fantastic Four, even for being an outdated thinking of a comic book. Will it live up to what we expect? It's hard to say, because like Heroes Reborn, we expected a lot out of it, and after 2 years, it went back to being the Marvel Universe again. And Marvel is doing a real big push for their legacy by doing covers that showcase modern characters in classic, famous covers. All we can hope for is that maybe this time, after all the big yelling letters, the reboots, the quasi-reboots, that Marvel may finally get it right and just leave their universe alone, and not after 3 to 5 years reboot it again just as how issue 1's, and try to reinvigorate a market that may not be there for them anymore because they've pushed characters as far as they could. Maybe it's time that Marvel looked at their universe like DC back with Crisis on Infinite Earth, and maybe it's just time for them to clean up their closet. So until next time, this is the Sounding Board signing off. I hope you got something insightful from this about Legacy, but it is worth checking out to read.